Welcome to Imagination Fun Time. I am your host, Brandon Devine. Hello, everybody, and it is the first episode of 2024, and I'm very excited because this is my first episode with a guest, and this is a very special guest. I am so excited to have her on the show. She has been one of my best friends for several years now, and basically we've kind of decided our name of our friendship is the Broship based on what this episode is going to be about. Ladies and gentlemen, all the way from Los Angeles, California, it's Nicci Pearce.
Hey, what's up?
What's up, dude? For those of you who are film buffs, you might know Nicci for her famous role as Candlewoman in the hit 2014 film Mall. That was a big movie. Dude, it was such a big movie.
Oh, yeah, sure.
That movie was huge, dude.
And I acted the heck out of that scene.
Dude, you are an iconic mall worker in that movie.
No, I was shopping for candles, bro. I didn't work at the kiosk.
I thought you were running the kiosk. Oh, you're just shopping
why
for.
am I smelling the candles and stuff?
I don't know, like looking over the inventory, maybe.
No, I was shopping.
Yeah. Me and Nicci, for those of you listening, me and Nicci, we first met years ago when I was living in Los Angeles as a struggling young actor, and I'm now a struggling 30-year-old actor. Not much has changed since then. But one thing that Nicci and I have bonded on a lot over the years, other than our clearly point political ideologies.
Oh, yeah. Top tier.
Top tier, dude. Top tier. We have also very much bonded over our love of probably the greatest TV show to ever exist within the human realm. I don't know about other dimensions, but within this dimension, whatever they call it in the Avengers world, is a show called South Park.
Yes.
So, I just tried writing down a bunch of questions. I've been rewatching a bunch of, the specials, old episodes, all sorts of stuff. So I just had a bunch of questions, basically. So let's kind of get into it.
All right, let's do this.
All right, Nicci, when were you first introduced to South Park? Do you remember the first episode you watched?
I don't know if I remember the first episode. But I do remember, online chatting had just come out. My mom bought a computer, so she had, AOL.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. It's just 97, 98 when it came out. And people all over the chat were saying, oh, my God, you killed Kenny. And then someone else would say, you bastard. And we're like, what the heck is that from?
Damn.
And then one day my uncle was over, and he rented the DVDs of seasons 1 and 2. And we just watched those. So maybe Cartman Gets an Alien Probe may have been the first one I ever saw. But I remember watching, it even had, the little introductions of Trey and Matt.
When they were in, the old folks' home and stuff like that?
Yeah, by the fire, stroking the dog changes every time.
Oh, yeah, the first one was by the fire, and then second ones they did was the old folks' home.
Yeah, and then they were, cowboys in season 2, and Bacon with Nathan or whatever.
Going back to their early days of Cannibal.
Oh, God, yeah, that's...
Which I still have to watch, by the way. I still have yet to watch Cannibal the musical.
You do need to. The music, it's just great. It's long, but it's worth the watch.
I remember the first episode I watched, I think I was 10, maybe 9 or 10. It was during the summer, because I remember talking about it the next day at summer camp. It was the episode from season 1, Mecha Streisand. Because I went in the next day to summer camp, and I just wanted to Rochambeau everybody. And then I remember a kid did Rochambeau me, and then I cried.
I remember my mom, because she Godzilla films. Her and her brothers watched those all the time. So she was just laughing her ass off the Babura.
Was she a Barbra Streisand fan?
She is, actually.
Oh, fuck. So did she enjoy it, or she's like, that's mean?
No, she enjoyed it. she likes Barbra Streisand's like music and voice kind of thing. She's not like a diehard, just sees everything Streisand is in.
I can't even think of one song by Barbra Streisand. I did see an article saying that she's threatened once again to leave the country if Trump is elected president, just like last time. So
like they're all doing it again.
Yeah, I mean they're all going to go to Canada, dude.
They didn't before, so
maybe like the minor ones did that, like you don't even hear from anymore. I mean, like I can't even think of one, but who knows? Okay, second question. Do you think early South Park or newer South Park is better?
See, that's an unanswerable question because, like, early South Park has nostalgia. Like, it'll always be good no matter what. But new South Park amazes me because it's still really good. I mean, I don't like every single episode, but they're still keeping up with it. You know what I mean? Like, everybody still knows who they are. They're still very relevant 20... How many years later?
Literally, it's going to be almost 30 years pretty soon.
I think so it's probably going to be 27.
And like, I bet on like year 30, like they're going to celebrate with like a cake in the lobby of the office and be like, good job. And then go back to work.
Yeah.
Just something simple. No, it is true. Like,
won't let them know.
Trey and Matt
let me die.
Love you guys. No, it's true. That's a good answer because I thought about that and I was thinking like, there's just so many great episodes from the early episodes, like 90s, early to mid 2000s, and then it was really like, I guess like probably mid 2000s, 2005, it really started getting more technical with the animation and stuff like that. But it always, like, even up to like, the latest one, Not Suitable for Children, they're still literally all walking the same like they did in Spirit of Christmas. And you can still basically, it all still looks what they talked about in the commentary, the eye candy of it still is the same of it, which is awesome.
Oh, yeah, there's still little construction cutouts, technically. You know what I mean? Like the shapes and stuff.
And like while they have grown as people, Trey and Matt, since they started, it's still like, it's still so awesome. They're both in their 50s at this point. They're still just, the same stuff from when they started still makes them laugh. Fart jokes, dick jokes, everything like that.
Oh yeah, like they've shaped my humor. I've been watching since I was, like 11 years old.
Yeah. Yeah, like I started. Yeah, I got into. Yeah, definitely it was South Park and The Simpsons together for me were like definitely the two biggest ones to shape like my childhood into adulthood. Because I still look back and like all like the Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network stuff I loved as a kid, but like I don't love it as much as I still love South Park and The Simpsons.
Yeah, like I'll go back and watch like Hey Arnold or Rocko's Modern Life. It's like, it's okay. But South Park, I just feel like, especially Trey and Matt with, other things they've done.
I watched Even Stevens. I watched some Even Stevens recently. That still holds up.
Yeah, I was never really into that one, to be honest.
All right, third question. Single episode plot lines versus serialization.
Ooh, yeah.
I thought it was weird when they got into the serialization. I thought it was kind of weird of just like having just like the entire season be like so connected and stuff like that. I can't remember like it was probably around like 2014, 2015, stuff like that.
Yeah, I think 15, season 18 or 19.
It was the introduction of PC Principal.
Yeah, and the ads were trying to take over.
Yeah. And I guess
I liked it. I liked how it kind of changed and, it was laughing at itself, and it was a way for them to kind of bring it in to the new millennium, really, Like, yeah, where are the Mexican kids in Colorado? Like, there's one black kid and everybody else.
Well, they're all out on Integrity Farms.
Now, yeah.
No, and it's definitely, I think it was cool, like, because, it's definitely, changing over, like, shows evolve over time, and, it's like, they started off with that one season trying it, and then I think they went into, the whole trolling one was after that, and then...
Oh, yeah, well, yeah.
there's been a bunch of, there's several, and then they got into Integrity Farms, and now it's like, pretty much until the end of South Park, I think Integrity Farms is going to exist.
Well, they'll definitely go back to it, whenever they need that storyline, because it is funny. I mean...
Or they're going to, like, have to spend, like, an entire season and, like, 2 of the Paramount Plus specials, like, creating an elaborate storyline where they sell or get rid of Integrity Farms and go back to the old house.
Yeah.
Like Dick and Boss.
Dick and Boss. Yes.
Next question. Have Matt and Trey sold out like they wanted to, do you think? Because remember that early documentary where they're chilling in the hot tub?
Yeah. With the random, well, it's their friend, but the Asian guy.
Yeah, the Asian guy who doesn't say anything. He's just chilling. Yeah. He's just chilling there the whole time.
Well, I think, like, when that is your goal, is just to, like, make money, which is, kind of most people, even though people be like, oh, it's about the art. It's like, come on, it's about the money, too. Like,
it's like, yeah, it's like, it's about the art, but it's like, I also still need to, like, put a roof over my head and, eat and stuff like that, and...
Yeah, I mean, we're all trash. So
we're all trash. Exactly. We're all slaves.
To sell out. And yeah, look at them. They've created an empire. I mean, Comedy Central, I don't know if that would be a channel without South Park.
They would not be. There's no way Comedy Central would still be going if it wasn't for South Park. And it's really true. Like, they didn't sold out, and they've created, like, an entire empire, and it's so incredible because it's still solely based on, like, what they want to do. They have South Park, then they did Team America, Book of Mormon, which is going to go down as, like, one of the most legendary, popular Broadway shows of all time.
No, for sure. They, you know what I mean? They're doing it.
And then they got into video games. Like, who the fuck gets into video games the way they did? Like, really, like, spending the time. Like, I haven't played, just because I do have a 360, so I think I can play Stick of Truth on the 360, but I don't have a PS5 or an Xbox One to play Fractured Butthole. And then I think there's a new one coming out, Snow Day.
Yeah. I thought it was coming out, like, last year. It's still not out?
It might be out. I don't know. I don't follow video games. I'm still playing PlayStation 2, and literally I'm replaying SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom. Classic.
Oh, no.
That one still holds up.
Sure, yeah.
Okay, next question. Favorite Disney Channel original movie?
I think it's probably Motocross.
Motocross, classic.
Yeah, I'll still watch that one. I get a hankering for it, like, in the springtime. I'm like, oh, I want to watch that movie.
Motocross, that was I remember when that one premiered. I was so young, but it was also like 2001 when, like, all I did was play Tony Hawk and want to try to skateboard. And when I saw, like, some Disney, and I already seen Brink at that point. I think Brink overall is still the best.
I like Brink.
Brink, actually, the 13th Year, the one where the Kid the Mermaid. I always liked that one. That's a fun one.
That's why it was, like, the golden age for me, because I was 13 when all those movies came out, and all those kids were 13, like Lucky the Irish and all that.
Oh, so, dude.
Like, you know what I mean? It was just, like, perfect for me, because we were all this, I'm like, dang, these are my peers.
Dude, I was such an idiot. I watched Lucky the Irish as, like, a second grader and got so fucking pumped on Leprechauns. And I went into school, and I was just saying to everybody, dude, I'm like a leprechaun. Look at me. I'm fucking awesome. And then all the kids started picking on me and making fun of me, and I started to cry, and I was like, oh, I hate this. And I look back and it's
picking on you, bro. I've been, the leprechaun.
Oh, dude, they just, like, oh, dude, I brought it fully on myself, which sucks. I look back on it now and I'm just like, oh, it's because I was so pumped on that movie. And I was just like sitting around the lunch table talking about how cool Lucky the Irish was. And not realizing, oh, I'm around a bunch of New York kids who are a bunch of dickheads.
There's Irish, Italian, Jews.
Orchard Park, it was mainly just Catholics.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we were that kind of town. Next question. In the spirit of, being just recently was the holiday season. In the spirit of the holidays, in the spirit of Black Friday, is eating your child in the parking lot of the mall while waiting to open on Black Friday truly in the spirit of the holidays?
I would have to go with no.
You'd have to go with no? I would have to go with how long have you been waiting there and how much food did you bring? Because, I don't know, if you go a few hours without food, you get kind of grumpy.
True, but they are in a city with multiple people in line.
And usually in most malls that are still open today, there's usually a fast food joint somewhere.
Well, there's a food court. I mean...
But they couldn't get into the mall, remember? They were waiting outside for Black Friday.
No, they could. They just couldn't go for the Black Friday stuff.
Oh, so you're saying, they have to choose between, are they gonna save on super awesome deals and get, it was 2013, so get, a PlayStation, a PS4 for $100, or are they gonna, survive and eat food?
No, they got the Xbox Ones, remember?
True.
Xbox One.
Xbox One, man.
But ultimately they didn't.
Bill Gates.
Kind of funny.
Bill Gates fucked that guy up in Red Robin.
Yeah, but ultimately, I think Sony will end up winning the console wars.
In real life? Yeah, more my.
Well, no, I mean at that moment, Xbox Ones were selling more. That's why they kept pushing it off, is they wanted to see what was going to actually happen. But I think, today, looking back in hindsight, I think PlayStation's actually.
Yeah, I knew more people back then getting PlayStations than Xboxes.
Yeah,
because that was when I was about 20 at that point. So college kids, some of us, just making money during the summer. I remember a bunch of my friends, going out and buying those right away. Probably some of them waited in those Black Friday lines. Have you ever waited in a Black Friday line?
Well, as a kid, I remember, I think it was Black Friday. My mom went to go get our holiday photos. And it was at a Sears, I believe. And so we waited in line, but we waited in line to go take photos. We didn't do shopping. Yeah, people were not that crazy, but they were come on, open up. I do remember that.
I clearly remember, I believe it was when I was in 9th grade. I always went down to my dad's and my grandparents in White Plains outside New York City for Thanksgiving. And we were usually there for another day or two before we flew back. And my dad, for some reason, had to go to Burlington Coat Factory on Black Friday. And we're all in there, and I think he's returning something, which is a weird day to return something.
Yeah.
And I remember just walking around looking at stuff. And I remember there was this mom screaming, because it was pretty chaotic in there. There's just so much more people than normal, especially for a Burlington Coat Factory. And his mom was screaming at her child, who was probably 8 years old, maybe. He was a little kid. And she wanted him to try on some clothes, but the lines for the changing room were too long. And she was yelling at him to strip, just right there out in the open and try on these clothes. And he was like, no. And she was like, you do as I say. And this little kid was literally crying as he was taking off his clothes. And it was so fucked up, dude.
Jesus.
Dude.
That's going to be one of those things in therapy.
Dude, that kid. Yeah, that kid, that had to have been that was 2007. So, yeah, that kid is for sure been to therapy, rehab, hopefully not jail. Hopefully he's, Jesus Christ, dude. That kid was not having a good day.
That is messed up.
Okay, next question. Who do you think are the worst parents in the town of South Park?
Butters'
Yeah,
parents.
I was gonna say there's only one obvious answer. It's Butters' parents.
Even Kenny's parents, like, they care and love about, like, care about him and love him.
Yeah, they care enough. They care enough to be working hard with a meth lab in the backyard to provide.
Like, they do care about the kids.
They do.
What I mean? Like,
oh yeah, no, they do. In their
kids,
complete redneck like Kenny's parents are truly like, we all have met people like Kenny's parents in real life.
Oh yeah, we all had a Kenny in class.
Everybody. Oh yeah. Oh dude, we all had Kenny.
I'll never forget that kid.
Dude, I remember I had a Kenny in class, but he was like the exact opposite, where like the parents were fucked up, but like they were rich. So the parents just like didn't pay attention to the kids, and then it turns out later like the dad was like beating his mom and like cheating on her and shit like that, and she would compensate by just having like the most insane snack closet in the entire neighborhood, and like the biggest TV, every game system. Anybody was allowed to come over anytime.
See, I had a Cartman in school that was...
Oh, yeah, we all had a Cartman in school.
The single mom that, like, never works, but always has, like, not, like, money, but money, So there's always, like, snacks in the house, the newest games, toys. So their houses were always so fun to go to.
Remember when they first said that Leanne Cartman was a crack whore? And, it was pretty much established in the show she was a crack whore?
Yeah, but she seemed like a good enough one. Like, I didn't like it when they made them poor. Because then it shattered my illusion of, like, the Cartman I went to school with. Like, they weren't poor. They weren't the poorest. He wasn't the poorest kid in school.
Yeah, but it wasn't until later. Yeah, it really wasn't until, like, much later in the show. Like, that, like, when Kenny went away and Cartman realized he was a poor kid in school. Yeah, it's true. I remember Cartman when I worked at the YMCA. His mom, the kid, his name, I'm not gonna say his name, but I remember his mom was a postal worker, and she was a nice lady, but she was just like, she was a single mom and just working all the time, and he was just such a little bastard kid, and he was just like, he wasn't obese, but he was like definitely like, I guess, the fat kid in the class, and like he was always such a problem, and I was always yelling at him, me and my other YMCA workers, and he was always in trouble. And there are certain kids he would pick on and stuff like that. But I never, No, Butters' parents, though, but getting back to that, Butters' parents, for sure. I mean, no other parents, Butters' mom trying to drown him.
Just the constant psychological warfare on that kid. I mean, like...
It can't be because of our parenting. We're awesome. Oh, they're no fucking war. They really are. And just before the podcast, I was rewatching the Amazon episodes, and it was like, I was thinking about it, and I was like, this is really like one of the few episodes where like Steven's actually being a good parent. Like
every once in a while.
Every once in a while. And then we later learn that, during the pandemic they grounded him, and he was grounded for like 30 years in his room.
Yeah.
With an iPad.
Hey, but he made, he did all right.
NFTs, baby. They're the way of the future.
There you go, yeah.
What episodes do you not like?
Like, was it We Got Gov or something like that? There's, like, seasons 14, 15, 16, and 17. They had, like, some gems there, but for me, that's kind of where... I was like, maybe South Park's starting to go downhill. But then, like, to be honest with, like, PC Principal, that brought me back in.
Really?
So I would say those seasons kind of like,
I never imagined PC Principal sticking around this long, but it's clear he's just there to stay, and Principal Victoria is just gone. That was also when they got rid of Bar Brady.
Yes.
And since then, it's just been Sergeant Yates, like the racist ginger cop.
But yeah, he's messed up. He's got all kinds of issues.
He just remember when he, like, in the Red Dead Redemption episodes, like, he clearly he was so focused on, like, I just want to get home to play Red Dead Redemption that he clearly just pinned everything. It's like, all right, it's Kyle, it's Cartman and Kenny. Go arrest them, put him in jail. I'm going home.
Yeah. I like the interaction between him and his wife.
Next question. How fucking dope was the Red Rocks concert?
Oh my god, like, it was one of the greatest moments of my life.
That was so... Oh my god. I think back to that night all the time. Especially when I think, past year I saw Fall Out Boy and I saw Wu-Tang. And they were both great, but they just don't compare to, like... Because that was also like the first concert where it wasn't just like you weren't just there for music. It was there for like something else. It was like you were there because of South Park, and then also Primus and then Ween.
Oh God, Ween! My God,
my life. Yeah, that night really changed your life. You became a big fan of Ween after that night.
Oh yeah, I went in hard.
Do you think you'd get a Boognish tattoo?
No. To be honest, I don't know if I'm gonna get any more tattoos. But the Boognish, I would like more apparel with him on it, I guess.
That's true. I do like sometimes at work, up on the board at the host stand at the restaurant, where they have the floor chart and stuff like that, and they write all the stuff with dry erase markers, and I'll just go up there and draw a Boognish.
Hell yeah!
And I try to explain. I've only like a couple of the kitchen workers in the restaurant have listened to Ween, and like one server I've known said that she's heard of Ween, but no one else has heard of Ween.
I mean, it's understandable. But one of the greatest things about that night was it's on, like, we can go back and watch it. Like, I've gone back and watched the concert, like, I don't know how many times.
I've gone back and watched the concert and strained my eyes trying to see if I could spot us in the crowd.
Oh, no, I've given up on that.
Yeah, we're never... Dude, I thought I was going to be so clever wearing that neon-colored shirt, being like, dude, I'm so smart. Like, no one else thought of this. And I get there, and everyone else thought of that shit.
Well, the people working there, like, were wearing the same color shirts as you.
I was like
when doing the crowd
I remember feeling, like, a genuine, like, internally... Because I was still so pumped to be there, but I remember feeling genuinely bummed, like, fuck. I thought I was going to be the only one wearing, like, this neon-colored shirt so I can be spotted in the crowd.
But, I mean, the only people who were really spotted in the crowd were the ones that were, like, way up front, like, off to the side.
Man.
Who cares? Whatever.
Also, Rush.
Rush. Yeah, that was crazy.
Who didn't even dawn... Like, you knew the second cartoon Geddy Lee popped up on the screen. We were like, no way. No fucking way. Like,
well, yeah, it all clicked. Remember, because the helicopter landed there? And we're like, who the hell is that?
Wait, a helicopter? I don't remember that. That happened?
Yeah, well, we were waiting.
I don't remember that.
Well, before, like, we got to go to our seats, a helicopter landed there.
Oh.
I mean,
you think that was Geddy and Alex?
We're in relation, but I think that was them.
Might have been.
Yeah, because, helicoptered them in. They probably just did that and left.
It could have been Diener and Jeaner.
Yeah. Sure.
All right. Historic TV moments we have witnessed with South Park. Like, I asked that question because I think of, like, did you watch the airing of 200 and 201?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, because so did I. And I remember I was at boarding school. It was my junior year. I was in my converted, what was once a closet, converted into a single dorm room. I remember sitting there watching those. And I remember audibly yelling, "Fuck you," and flipping off the screen when the Ginger Kids appeared. But then I remember...
When you were saying historic, I thought you were going to talk about Not Without My Anus. And
oh, shit, that's true. Do you remember that? Like, because I don't remember it.
Do.
Fuck.
I do remember.
Fuck.
Like,
were you bummed?
I guess my uncle must have just rented season 1. Because I remember, like, when we were waiting for that to come out. Or is that? Yeah, because it's season 2. Yeah. We're, like, waiting for it to come out, like, who is Cartman's dad? And then it was, it was like, no.
Well, you had to wait another 10 years to find out.
I still haven't watched Not Without My Anus since that day.
Oh, dude, that's still one of my favorite episodes. That episode is so fucking funny.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, I'm just bitter about it.
Are you bitter about it because of how it made you feel back then, or are you bitter about it because of how you feel about Canada?
You know, I don't think I should speak my views on Canada.
You ever been to Canada?
No.
Oh, man.
I've seen the bridge to Canada when I was like by Detroit.
By Detroit. I just like being from Buffalo. You know, I grew up with Canadians being my neighbors, and I grew up going to Canada. You know, but not like all the time, but definitely a good handful of times. Gone to Canada, Toronto. Went up to Toronto with my friend when we were 18, so we could get a fake ID on Yonge Street.
Hey.
That was fun. It was always like tradition in Buffalo, like when you're 19, you can just cross the bridge into Canada and you can drink. I didn't do that, but I had several friends that did. But yeah, like, for me, like, I love any episode featuring the Canadians. I love because anything the Canadians do in South Park just makes me laugh, just makes me so happy. That the eye can't, like, going back to like the eye candy aspect of the animation, like, that is just it makes me laugh so hard. I don't know if it's just like, you know, my childlike autistic mind, or maybe, you know, my deep love for Canadian people. But dude, like that episode, I look back, I'm trying to think, like I think back to like all the other episodes with like featuring Canadians, like, you know, when Christmas in Canada and stuff like that, The Wall, all that shit. That episode's still the best. That first Terrence and Phillip episode. Just the way they talk, dude. The way they talk the way Canadian South Park. It's like whenever I see a cat, like no matter how depressed I am, if I see like a big fluffy kitty, I just feel so happy inside. And I feel the same way when I hear like Terrence and Phillip talk, or like, you know, you're not my buddy guy. It's just like okay, the world's not so bad. This is fun. Who is your favorite South Park guest star? Because I wrote down a list here.
I know why you wrote that down. We talked about. I mean, I don't think he's my favorite. I don't know who would be my favorite.
Actually, I wrote down a list here. George Clooney. Our favorite man in the world who will save the future and save humanity, Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Let's go to Mars and fuck up Mars. Walmart on Mars.
Hey, why not?
Why not? Jennifer Aniston. She was hilarious in the Rainforest episode.
Yeah, she was funny for sure.
Cheech and Chong.
They were good too.
Malcolm McDowell.
I mean, you know.
The legendary Scott Tenorman episode when Radiohead came and just made fun of him.
Yeah, and then but you know, Lean.
Oh yeah, well I wrote the last.
Chef Aid.
I wrote Chef Aid because there's just so many great people in that.
Chef Aid.
Yeah, there's so many great people. Oh, Korn, the Scooby-Doo episode.
Yeah,
Dude, Korn was so good. Korn was so fucking good. All right.
Yeah, they got the assignment, that's for sure. Like,
trying to look at. Hold on one sec. So you are a known fan of film series John Wick, right?
oh yes.
Do you remember? Okay, do you remember in John Wick 2 when there was a guy when John Wick went to the guy, the sommelier, the weapon supplier, when he that sick ass scene where he's like laying out weapons like they're food.
Yes.
So that guy.
Dessert.
That guy, I always struggle to pronounce his name. Peter Serafinowicz. He was like a known collaborator with Trey and Matt on South Park for many episodes. It said that he's been like a creative consultant, and he was a frequent guest star in several episodes apparently.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So I always thought that was cool. It's also, did you know he was also the voice of Darth Maul?
voice of it kind of like threw me out because I was like, he's not Darth Maul, but yeah, you mean like in Clone Wars, right?
No, in Phantom Menace, he is the voice. He's not.
Voice?
He's not. Yeah. So Ray Park played Darth Maul, like the physical, and then Peter voiced him.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that there are two different guys. Okay.
No, yeah. So he's had a very extensive career, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. Some neat stuff.
I think for me, my favorite guest star would probably be Korn, because they just did so good in that episode. Just like they just had to come in and basically be like, "All right, you guys have seen Scooby Doo, right? Just do that."
They're like, "Of course we have."
All right. Is South Park right about gingers? Because for those of you listening to the podcast, and who have never seen my beautiful, beautiful face, I am basically what Cartman fears in the infamous Ginger Kids episode. I am I'm as ginger as it gets.
Full on ginger, yeah.
So ginger.
Anthony Walker.
Full like I am the Ginger King. I should be the Ginger King over Scott fucking Tenorman. Fuck that kid.
We was kings.
I hated that episode so much when I was a kid because of just like I can never like deny like the bullying I definitely got in middle school because of that episode.
Yeah.
I infamously can clearly remember November 10th, 2005, the day after the Ginger Kid episode, and I had to go into public middle school as a 7th grader. Just the worst possible time, and just everybody was like, it was so weird. It was like I was a plague. Dude. People were just like either avoiding me, looking at me weird, or just calling me Ginger. And at that point, no one had called me Ginger. Like, I'd just been called, like, redhead, carrot top, like, all those ones. But, yeah. But now I look back on that episode, and it's definitely... I don't know if it's in my top 5, but I do fucking love that episode. It is fucking funny. Because it's like... Because, like, it's my... I can feel pride in that episode, because it's like, it's my turn to get made fun of by South Park, and it's like, fuck.
Yeah, exactly.
And hopefully one day I want to get a picture with Trey and just see how uncomfortable he is next to me.
Yeah.
I'll just be standing there like super big smile with my thumbs up, and he'll just be like just shaking.
Smile on his face, but his eyes will be like, "Save me,
kill me now."
Don't let it infect me. Gingivitis.
Oh, and this is one I thought of because I was watching the episode Bebe's Boobs Destroy Society. Do you think there's truth behind that episode? Like, do you remember as a young lass as a young lass in elementary school when puberty started hitting for girls, did the boys all start acting like complete apes around you?
I wouldn't go that far, but the boys definitely noticed. I will say, like, it was uncomfortable as a little girl. Because, you know what I mean? You're like 11, 12 years old when your boobs start growing in. You're a little kid. And then people start looking at you kind of in a different way. And it's like, dude, I'm still a child. Like, please stop staring at my chest. Even though, they were children too, but it was weird. Boys had no they would just look.
Dude, I can attest to that. I definitely remember being in middle school. I remember, like, the shock in middle school. Like in the early days of 6th grade, just roaming the halls, because like coming from like elementary school, which was like such a small, tight-knit community, into the big, 3-floor giant middle school of like kids, tons of kids I've never met, from all over different towns and stuff like that. I remember like just being fascinated, being like, holy shit! Like I was definitely one of those kids that was staring too much at times.
Yeah. So I think yeah, some boys probably, their grades went down a little bit.
No guys started fighting over you in the hallway. Like,
no.
Damn.
Oh my God.
Who is your favorite like minor character?
Favorite minor character.
For me, I have to say Towley.
Towley's great.
Nothing beats Tally.
I was like, I kind of like the mayor. She was just insane.
Is she insane? Do you think, like, do you think she care? Like, Mayor does care about South Park.
No, she cares about her image, which makes her care about South Park. But
Her image is always weird. Why does she have green hair?
I mean, who knows?
She's got short green hair, which is like basically the look of modern day liberals. You think Trey and Matt were predicting the future?
Yeah, I mean, why not?
She's still around, right? Like, she's still on. She's still around.
Rick, here's the one. Bar Brady, the first thing that has to go. Turn in your gun and your badge. Like, she got to stay.
Dude, they fucked over Bar Brady so bad.
Yeah.
Bar Brady was like one of the most innocent, sweet characters. Like, he was just the nicest cop. Like, he was. And they really made him. Like, I think they described in the commentary they wanted him to kind of be like an Andy Griffin.
Oh, yeah, it's just like a simpleton. I love when he goes to Tweak's Coffee. The usual.
Just get slapped with a cat.
Slaps with a cat.
Dude, I remember watching that episode, Gnomes, first time I was in 8th grade, and I just remember loving the Gnomes aspect of it, and like just how weird Tweak was, but I didn't understand what they were talking about with capitalism. And now I just realized, like, it's so simple, but... What? I was 13. I'm dumb. I'm not that much smarter now.
I said no. Most kids didn't. Like, I remember I was younger. I was probably about 13 the first time I saw that episode. And, yeah, I didn't really pay attention to it enough to, like, think about it. It was just like, oh, that's funny. South Park being South Park.
Time to go to work. Work all day. Work for your enemies.
They were...
I would love to make another appearance in Red Sleigh Down. Working for Santa.
Oh, that's right, they were. And then the pandemic special, the first one, they were essential workers, but they still got denied the vaccine.
Yeah.
Which I am gonna openly state on the podcast, for the record, I do fully regret getting the vaccine. Nikki, you were right. I'm an idiot.
I'm a pureblood, as they call them now.
Yeah, you're a Malfoy. We get it. You Slytherin.
As long as you didn't get any boosters.
I got one. I got three shots. I remember that. So there's a good chance I will be dead within the next week.
I mean, yeah, it's going on 2 years, right? Or
yeah.
More. Going on 3?
It was 21, and then I got that booster in like the beginning of 22.
I was just saying, like, 21 was the first, so
yeah,
2 years.
21.
It's about that time. You might have a... what are they calling them now?
I don't know.
It was like adult sudden death syndrome.
Adult spontaneous combustion. I'm just going to burst into flames.
A coincidence.
A coincidence. Oh, fuck.
Check that heart out.
I guess... I just took my car for a check-in, and that's looking okay, but I should go to the doctor and get myself checked up.
Why not, I would, just for the peace of mind. Because, like, some people... I mean, we can go off on this, but you know what I mean?
No, I know.
Just for the peace of mind.
It's a good point. All right. Favorite animal character? I mean, there's not very many, but, like, there have been animals featured within South Park. Mr. Kitty. Mr. Kitty is always a lovable one.
Mr. Kitty, voiced by Jay Leno.
Oh, shit, that's right. He was voiced by Jay Leno. George Clooney as Sparky the gay dog.
Yeah, Sparky was great for sure.
Man, Sparky's made a few appearances since then, but not many.
No, which is kind of weird because, I guess he's still around, but you just never see him.
Yeah, you never see Sparky that much. So do you remember the first trilogy that they did, the Meteor Shower trilogy?
Yes.
Okay, so the second episode featured the Meteor Shower party and a subplot line of Randy and Gerald in the hot tub, and they had a little bit of an encounter where they were as two men do.
I think it's the name of the episode is Two Men in a Hot Tub.
Yeah, it's two men in a hot tub, and sometimes when two men are naked in a hot tub, they start exploring a little bit. Do you think a man watching another man jack off makes them gay?
I have to go with no.
I would have to say no too, because I can say this: I went to all male boarding school for 5 years, so naturally I did have to walk in a few times on kids just going at it, fellow students, and it was not fun, but it wasn't like you got fascinated by it. It was just like, oh fuck, dude, like can't you save this for later?
But maybe that's the thrill. They're like, oh, somebody can walk in on me anytime.
I've heard stories of guys. I think it was on Radio Bam. I heard like Novak talking about like being in a hotel room with Bam where they like just put up a barrier, like put like a bunch of pillows or like stack like a mattress in between them, and then they watch the porn. I've never done that. I've never done that, but I think that might take it to a new level.
Well, I mean, I guess, like, again, it wouldn't be gay. That's just, like, all right. I mean, I just couldn't imagine doing that. But, whatever.
Let's see. What are your opinions on season 2? Because it is known in the lore of South Park that Trey and Matt were not satisfied with season 2, that they thought it was very lackluster and stuff like that. And infamously, there is no commentary for season 2. But yet you go back and watch season 2, and there's so many great episodes within there.
I thought there was, like, the first half of season 2, their commentary, didn't it?
I haven't been able to find it.
Maybe not. Maybe I'm making that up. I could have swore, like, the first, like, DVD had commentary, and the second one didn't. I don't know. I'll have to check in. See, again, as, like, being introduced to South Park, to me, it was just as good as season 1. I mean, I watch it as much as I watch season 1 or 3.
Damn.
So, I you know what I mean? Like, it was kind of a shock to me to hear that,
yeah,
it wasn't a good season. So I was like, it's kind of like with the crab people.
Love
like
crab
they
people.
talk about how that was just so stupid.
I mean,
Like,
it is fucking...
it.
I mean, let's be honest. Crab people is fucking stupid, but it doesn't mean it's not also fucking hilarious.
Well, yeah, that was the whole point, though. It's like, yeah, it is.
That's what they call dummy version.
Funny about it. It's just, like, wild.
Okay. Favorite Paramount Plus movie so far? I think I have. I think I like post COVID ones. I thought it was interesting, finally being able to see what the boys look like as adults, and just what all the other characters get to look like as adults and stuff like that.
Yeah, that was neat, but it was also slightly just, like, depressing. I don't know, like, I have a weird feeling about the COVID specials just because they remind me too much of going through that. Like, I don't have the same kind of, like, I don't know, nostalgia, I guess. It reminds me of, like, how crappy those times were.
Speaking of nostalgia, which episode do you relate to the most?
Oh, man, do I relate to the most?
I believe... I think one time we were talking, I think I remember you saying the episodes where Sharon and Randy got divorced, that two-parter.
Oh. Well,
where
yeah,
just everything sounds like shit and everything feels like shit.
Well, yeah, because, like, when the first one came out, my boyfriend and I were together, and by the time the second, part came out, we weren't. So
okay.
It would be, like, that period of my life. I still like those episodes. They're freaking great. They're all watching. But, yeah, that was, like, dude. I remember it was hard.
I remember now relating to the episodes more after, because that was the first time I ever heard of Asperger's, and now I learn I'm a grown adult with Asperger's.
I thought they got rid of the name.
I still want to keep it. I'm keeping it strong, bro. Like, dude, fuck just merging into the spectrum. I'm technically level 1 on the spectrum, but dude, fuck that. I got burgers in my pants. Asperger's for life, homie.
Deep in there, in the crack.
Deep in that crack, dude. That's how you make that secret flavor.
Yep.
Let's see. Faith Plus One or Crimson Dawn?
Oh man.
It's
Faith
tough.
Plus One.
Really? Faith Plus, I don't know. Faith Plus One, especially for the nostalgia aspect.
They have so many good songs.
That's true. Crimson Dawn only has one. It's a good point.
And believe me, it was really funny when Crimson Dawn stepped on
Crimson Dawn has like Crimson Dawn has the added aspect of, you know, Kenny shredding on a 5-string bass and Butters basically up there being Slash with that guitar.
And Stan.
Dude, okay, like, I remember watching that scene and just thinking, like, okay, what is this gonna be? And just never, again, just so out of left field, just never would have crossed my mind. I thought it was gonna be like, I don't know. I don't even know what I thought.
Or something's what I thought it was gonna be. Like,
I don't know what I don't think I knew what I thought it was gonna be, but I just never would have thought it was gonna be just hardcore death metal.
Yeah, the lights and everything.
It's so good. Let's see, got a couple more questions. Let's see. I personally, after watching the episode where we learn about how to properly pronounce Tolkien's name, I personally felt like a true piece of shit for being a bigoted white man and mispronouncing Tolkien's name all those years and saying Tolkien. That was very disrespectful for me, and I felt a lot of shame. Did you also feel shame for mispronouncing his name all those years?
Hell no, I didn't.
You motherfucker.
Because Mr. Garrison spelled his name as Token. They spelled his name as Token on the list.
Dude, in post
spelled his name Token.
Dude, in post-COVID. Dude, in post-COVID. Dude, post-COVID, the one with them in the future, where Tolkien is a kung fu like agent, whatever. Like, he does. I don't even know what his job was, but he like kicked the shit out of those orderlies in Applebee's, Denny's, Max. But he said his name was Token then, so it's just like, it's weird.
Yeah, we're in some like alternate universe or something.
We're in a multiverse, bro. We're in the multiverse. We're in the Pandaverse.
The Pandaverse. We're here. That's probably like been my favorite so far, just because. Like,
just how much they rip on Disney.
Kennedy many times.
And I was a person who, like, you know, looked up to Kathleen Kennedy for so many years, because as an actor, I've never really had like a favorite actress. But I always thought about, like, what women do I look up to in the industry, and she was one of them, because I look back on, like, you know, the cool stuff she did. E.T., Jurassic Park, like, all those great movies with Spielberg. And then I thought, like, you know, Force Awakens, I will always defend Force Awakens. I like that. First season of Mando is great. I know you don't agree with Rogue One, but I loved Rogue One. But it's very true. Like, I can't. There's so many things though that she's just fucked up. Since she took over, like,
yeah,
they should never have brought back Indiana Jones. That was a mistake. That's definitely where I can relate to Butters, because I was that geeky kid of being like, when Indiana Jones 4 came out, I'm like, I don't know what people are talking about. I thought it was pretty good. Did you hate it were you like Trey and Matt? Did you just like hate it when it came out?
It was so dumb. It was like, it didn't have the spirit of the first three.
I only had seen the first one. Oh, god damn it. That's... Nah, he's good. My roommate sometimes sets it off with his,
Cooking?
Yeah. And the last question I have... Was this something that they made up for the show? Do women really have periods?
I mean, I guess I would expect you not to know that.
I don't know. Like, that's weird.
Yeah, we bleed for 5 days and don't die.
Dude, what? And this happens every month?
It's a superpower every month.
Dude.
Every 28 days, bro.
Every 28 days. Dude, someone should invent, like, something, like some sort of, like, guard against that. Like a rag.
I know, right? It'd be nice.
It maybe be made out of, like, Cherokee hair or something like that.
There you go. It's the most absorbent thing on planet Earth.
What was Kyle dying of in that episode? Did he have, like, some actual disease?
Well, yeah, he has his kidneys.
Oh, his kidneys were failing, right?
Yeah, like...
And they tricked Cartman because Cartman was such an asshole.
Yeah.
That is kind of messed up. They did take his kidneys from him, and he didn't want his kidneys taken.
Yeah, that is...
That is kind of messed up.
Yeah, but now, you know, Kyle has a piece of Cartman in him.
Forever.
Oh, he's a self-hating Jew.
All right, folks. Well, that is all the questions I have. Nicci, you were my first guest on Imagination Fun Time. Did it change your life?
Oh, yeah, I mean, like, I feel like I conquered the world now. I'm going to go out there and, like, I don't know, maybe do something.
Yeah. And the final question I have, which is I think the question everybody in the world wants to know the most. What is the latest celebrity sightings at Universal Studios?
Oh, man. I can't remember half their names because they're those new rappers. But the one that you already know.
Oh,
Kylo Ren was the last one that... Like,
Adam Driver? No,
I can't remember the name of. Adam Driver, yeah.
Dude, Adam Driver is the fucking shit. That guy, legit Marine, who then turned into, like, the next Star Wars villain.
I will say, like, he's not so weird looking in person.
Is he tall as fuck in real life?
He's tall, but I thought he would be taller. He's probably, like, a little over 6 feet tall.
Damn, he's still taller than me.
Well, yeah. I mean, like, he's tall. Like, he's nothing to sneeze at. I just remember thinking, like, he'd be, like, I don't know, taller.
All right. Well, folks, thank you for tuning into this episode of Imagination Fun Time. I think this went really well. I was very nervous having my first guest on the show because she is a very important guest, and she's someone who makes me very nervous at times because of her great influence within the world.
That's what I like to hear.
And who knows, maybe she will return for future episodes. Like I said, I want to start getting more people on this show. I want my comedian friends here in Fayetteville on the show. So we shall see what the future holds, especially for America. It's election year, folks. Remember Mr. Garrison at the end of the pandemic? Special just annihilates the pangolin with the flamethrower and just like, big election, folks. Go out and vote.
Oh, yeah, it's World War III now, though.
Fuck yeah.
No pandemic.
World War III. All right, folks. Next episode will be from the front lines of the battlefield. All right.
Right? Coming live from Texas.
All right, folks. Thank you for tuning in to this episode, and have a great rest of your day.